Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Galactic Report. Today is Friday, 30th May 2025, and I would like to start to talk with you about Gemini season. We are officially in Gemini season since May 20th, when Sun entered Gemini, the mutable air sign, this curious, intelligent, but also nervous and always well-informed sign. And on a higher level, I would like to quote the German astrologer Silke Schäfer, who I admire for what she has done for astrology, making it super popular in the German-speaking community. And although I do not follow much of what she is talking about now, because I feel a lot of it is outdated as a galactic astrologer, but she did a really good job at describing Gemini from a higher perspective as the genius of the spiritual mind, the messenger of the divine, and the distributor of soul information. On May 25th, Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, entered Gemini, and Mercury, being the nearest planet to our sun, represents our capacity for mental combinatorics, our ability to learn and to think analytically and express ourselves that way. And most crucial at this time, for sure, it is our capacity for discernment. I will talk about this more because on May 26th, we had a new moon in Gemini, and at this moment in time, our innate human superpower was activated once again, because our capacity for intuition with Moon and our capacity for discernment with Mercury came together. And this is where we once again had the chance to be introduced to the art of ushering in new earth. And I know so many feel the urgency around that topic now. It prepares us as a human collective for our next evolutionary step as a society, as humankind, because we are invited into the galactic collective when we get our things together. And that is also what I am talking about in an infinite loop until the last of you comes to me and says, Miriam, it's enough now. I got it and I am doing it. And let me know in the comments if you're there yet, because it has most urgency and importance now. On May 29th and 30th, just a couple of hours before I'm recording this, we had a Mercury Cazimi. When Mercury, the divine messenger, is conjunct with Sun, we call this a Cazimi because Mercury sits in the heart of the Sun. It is such a beautiful expression that was forged by our ancient astrology colleagues in the Arabic world. And it means that the planet that sits in the heart of the sun is elevated and activated in a most special way. Because in this case, with Mercury, ideas crystallize, truths reveal themselves, and communication becomes a golden thread between mind and spirit, between intuition and discernment. It's a moment to speak what matters and launch what's been brewing in your world. May it be a project, may it be an idea that wants to come into reality, or simply listen for the spark that lights the next chapter of your life. In this brief moment, insights arrive with clarity and cosmic precision because it is delivered straight from source, and therefore it is important to listen. So, in a nutshell, Gemini season activates our mental brilliance, our curiosity, and our capacity to connect the dots in entirely new ways. With Mercury, the messenger, at home in Gemini, and a potent new moon followed by Mercury Cazimi, we are being invited to tune both into our intuition and discernment more deeply now. This is a wake-up time, guys. It is time to refine our thinking, to speak with clarity, to speak our truth with clarity, as we are receiving guidance from a much wider field and from higher realms. The gates are wide open, and we are all becoming a channel, and we are seeing it all, but we also have to process it mentally and express it in our reality, because becoming a channel is one thing, but handling the process is a completely and entirely different matter. Because when we are being a channel only intuitively, we move into this trance state and we cannot express ourselves clearly any longer. And that's why we need discernment. That's why we need to take our mind within the channeling process. And we are invited to learn to communicate as galactic citizens. If you want to dive deeper into this and understand what's happening with you, or if you want to hone your channeling, come and see me. I will teach you how I am doing it. It is easy. We just have to be aware of the process itself, because it is always a two-way street. We do not just receive information, but we are also feeding back information. And that is something we have to be crystal clear about. And also, this is the precursor for much bigger galactic events at the horizon, starting with the summer solstice less than a month away. I am going to do live ceremonies, by the way, in English and German as usual on that date, and I invite you to come and join me. You can register below in the description box, and it will be lovely because we will align with the sun and ask for guidance for our heart projects ahead. Because the 12 weeks after summer solstice are the most potent weeks in the year, where we can create deeply and with a lot of force behind. Okay, another topic I would like to talk with you very briefly is the Galactic Centre and some of the planets that form oppositions in these weeks. Jupiter started this cycle on May 27th, opposing the Galactic Centre. On June 7th, Mercury will follow. And then just before summer solstice, Sun opposes the Galactic Centre. Just short information about the Galactic Centre for those who are not familiar with it. It is supposed to sit at the center of our Milky Way galaxy and is the source of energetic particles that bathe the Earth, infrared and gamma particles mostly. And they are believed to stimulate our subconscious mind and urge us to release old emotional wounds and traumas and align ourselves with higher consciousness. And finally, to evolve towards greater harmony and connectivity with God, the source within. So it is a transmitter of divine consciousness, and it represents everything about evolution and expansion. And now, by the way, people who have natal chart aligned to these high degrees of Sagittarius, the Galactic Center currently sits at approximately 27 degrees of Sagittarius. So have a look at your chart and see if you have planets in that area. because then your role in assisting humanity to evolve into higher consciousness is elevated. Let me know in the comments, and I will tell you what the house position especially means in your chart. I will do that gladly for you. And those who have followed me for some time now, you know that. So don't be shy and post your alignments with the Galactic Center below. So Jupiter stands in opposition to the Galactic Center, and humanity finds itself at a pivotal mirror point because, as I said, cosmic intelligence streams from the heart of the galaxy. And this alignment again invites us to reflect, recalibrate, and integrate its deeper meaning. So rather than just absorbing this energy directly, we hold it at a distance, not so much to reject it, but to understand it more clearly. So this is a discernment moment. And it becomes possible to see where expansion is needed on Earth, in our systems, in our beliefs, in how we live together. And can you see the astrological pattern unfolding again and again? The same message is sent to us now. Now is the time when collective growth does not arise through force, but through illumination. And now is the time to recognize what's possible when we align our evolution with the greater cosmic rhythm. This is our job, guys. This is our only true job now. On June 7th, the Galactic Center is opposed by Mercury. As Mercury stands opposite the Galactic Center, our collective mind becomes a reflective surface for cosmic intelligence once more. And again, rather than being absorbed into the great mystery, we are asked to observe what is unfolding, to translate and apply what we see. This alignment brings breakthroughs in communication, consciousness, and technological innovation. So it invites us to rewire our mental frameworks in service of awakening without dogma, because there is a lot of spiritual dogma out there at the moment. And rather through open inquiry and collective dialogue. This is a moment to listen deeply to what the universe is telling us and to bring those messages into tangible form for the benefit of all. So in this Gemini season, we have a lot of this information coming in, and I invite you to tune into it consciously and with full awareness, and it will transport your evolution, propel your evolution forwards big time. On top of it all, we had a lot of solar activity last week, because a couple of days ago, starting on the 28th of May, we experienced increased solar activity as a supergiant trans-equatorial coronal hole began facing the Earth. And a solar storm, a geomagnetic storm, is in progress. We had a glimpse of that when the KP index went up to 7 yesterday. And the high-speed solar wind stream is expected to flow in today and during the weekend. So be prepared for northern lights and auras. And the Schumann Resonance spike too. So a friend said, imagine solar Wi-Fi. We are tapped into a super strong stream of consciousness now. And I would like to ask you, how do you feel about this? Because I personally keep wondering what these symptoms that we are experiencing with the solar activity and the Schumann resonance, what they are really about. I wonder if they are products of the collective consciousness, because if enough people buy into that and enough people keep talking about that and attribute physical, emotional, mental symptoms to the space weather, for example. And those symptoms occur all the time, by the way, because we are living organisms. We are evolving every day. So if we assign those symptoms to the ascension process, as some call it, they create a reality. And on the other hand, I am asking, are they really connected to solar activity to begin with? For sure, as if I look at it from a systemic point of view, yes, I would say so. But on the other hand, we are just, human beings, and we move through this evolutionary process every day anyways, be it based in a solar storm or not. So this is a conundrum for me, and I would like to have a discussion with you. What do you think about all of that? And most of all, how do you feel those solar activities personally? And how do you experience them in your day-to-day life? That is something I am really interested in. How does it show up in our daily 3D life that we are still navigating, right? And there is more that I would like to talk with you about in space, because I found a diagram showing the annual number of objects launched into space. It kind of shocked me because the satellites, probes, landers, crewed spacecrafts, and space station flight elements launched into Earth orbit or beyond is increasing so much. Since the launch of the first artificial satellite, which was Sputnik 1 in 1957, I found online, and I don't know if this is correct, that approximately 15,000 objects have been launched into orbit. While, for example, 6,800 satellites are currently active, the total number of objects in Earth orbit, including space debris, is estimated to be much higher, reaching into the millions. And I also took time to look up the number of satellites SpaceX has launched since the beginning, which are approximately 8,774 Starlink satellites in orbit. The operational count is slightly lower, 7,105 satellites actively functioning, and SpaceX plans to launch a total of 42,000 satellites for the Starlink constellation. I am going to link a list by the UN Office for Outer Space Affairs below in the description box, where you can see the register of objects launched into outer space. And I invite you to have a look at the list and then ask yourself, what in the heavens are we doing here? The same old story over and over again. Humanity, is it humanity? Politicians, scientists, and people who want to make a lot of money with it are surveying and polluting everything they can. It is insane. The space clutter and the debris that we are shooting into the skies above us, who is going to clean up all of that? Because there is not only the surveying topic around it, but there is a real threat here. This space debris is whizzing around us, and it is only a matter of time until disused toilet seat from the ISS falls on someone's head. And this is just the absurd image of what can happen. We have to deal with this. And the question is, how do we regulate our need for communication with the need of having a clean space around us? This is really a question here. Uh, Another topic which I find really interesting in this regards is that Blue Danube is going to space. It is quite absurd in a way, but also it points at the playfulness of the human mind. To celebrate Johann Strauss's 200th birthday, but more importantly, I think the European Space Agency's 50th anniversary, a performance of the ever-brilliant Vienna Symphony of the Blue Danube Waltz will be beamed into space on May 31st, which is tomorrow from my time of perspective. And if you're interested in watching, there will be a live stream available. The waltz, of course, famously featured in 2001, Space Odyssey, by Stanley Kubrick, which I believe is his second best space film or sci-fi film after the moon landing, obviously. So this waltz will travel at light speed toward Voyager 1, and because the officials say they want to correct its earlier omission from NASA's golden records. The event honors music power to connect humanity across time, space, and imagination, they say. And let's see what our star families will make of it, because if they like the music, then they for sure will appreciate it, or maybe they think they have to deal with human sound pollution on top of it all. Anyways, talking about events in space now, I would like to have a look at the events on Earth. And they are connected in this case with Uranus moving from Taurus into Gemini. Uranus, the planet of disruption, has been kicking up trouble in Taurus. Taurus representing the material physical world around us. Since 2019, Uranus was in this sign, and we had a fair share of seismic activity, flooding, and so on. And just last week, the volcano Kilauea in Hawaii had its 23rd episode of eruption. I think the lava was seen 1,000 feet in the air, which is massive. In Canada, we heard about forest fires. I think 22 fires burning in the Canadian province of Manitoba. And a state of emergency has been declared, and mass evacuation was ordered. And in Switzerland, a glacier has broken off and buried an entire village, the village of Platten. The evacuation had already taken place before the rock avalanche that swallowed the whole village. But it all those events just in last week, and those are just the ones that I am aware of. And I have to say, yes, I am looking at it from my Western perspective, and I believe all of those things happen all around the world every day. But I feel like it is ramping up now during the last weeks of Uranus in Taurus. And I will talk about this more because Uranus will move into the anaretic degree of Taurus on 17th of June, the anaretic degree being the most critical degree of a sign, until it moves into Gemini on 7th of July. and it will be there for a brief first visit until 7th of November. And as I said, I will be talking about this more in the coming weeks. And to end my galactic report for today, I would like to share something really hopeful with you, because US Navy Secretary ends military branches research and testing on dogs and cats. I was not aware of this topic, but John Phelan has officially ended all Navy research and testing on dogs and cats. The animals had been used in trauma training, medical research, whatever that may be, and studies on decompression and oxygen toxicity, which does not sound good at all. He ordered a full review of medical research programs to ensure alignment with ethical standards and core values. And I would like to add, of humanity, because the way we treat animals, it's the way we treat everything around us. And it would be good to treat everything around us with love, awareness, and with intuition and discernment, as usual. So with this, I'm ending my galactic report for today. And if you would like to hear more about the oppositions to the Galactic Centre, I will host a Zoom meeting tomorrow evening, both a German and an English version. And if you would like to participate, come and join my Facebook or Telegram groups, and there you will find the Zoom link. I hope to see many of you there, and if not, I wish you a very, very beautiful weekend. Take care of yourselves during the solar wind activity. Look at the sky and enjoy, if you can, the auroras and the beautiful colors in the sky. And I see you next week with another galactic report. If you have any news items you want me to cover, uh, write them in the comments below and I will include them. Thanks for watching and bye-bye.